Today we're going to talk about tying in single post weed guards. I'm going to show you two different ways. They're both really similar, but everybody has their preference on how to do things, so I'll show you both and you can pick which way works best for you. So the first thing we're going to talk about now is what material to use. Right here in my hand I've got 30-pound mono. For most of my applications, I'm not tying something in like this. This is for where the fish are a little less spooky or you're in like some really thick cover. For me, I fish a lot down in Biscayne Bay for bonefish. If I put something like this on a bonefish fly, I would just spook every single one of them. Every single one of them would see it and they'd refuse and I'd never catch a fish. So I usually use something like 12 or 16 pound fluoro, just like I would use on my tippet when I'm fishing for bonefish. The next thing that you're gonna need to decide whether you wanna do is you'll see every piece of mono or whatever has a curvature to it when you take it off the spool. You gotta decide, do you want it going away from the hook point or towards the hook point? I like going away from the hook point. To me, when it goes towards the hook point, it's a little too easy for that grass to kind of just push it right up along the way and just get stuck, versus if you've got it going away from the hook point, it gives just that extra little bit of resistance. I don't think it makes a difference from visibility. I don't think it makes a difference spooking the fish, but I do think it makes a difference keeping that grass off your hook point. So now that we have decided which way we're going to tie in, we decide what material we're going to use. We're going to take some flat jaw pliers and we're going to just grab right on the end. If I could actually do it. Now, you also want to make sure that the line is coming out still at that curvature. What this is going to do is it's going to create some nice ridges and you're going to flatten it right down. If you flatten it the wrong way, you might end up with the curvature going to the left or to the right, and it's not going to do anything to protect your hook. So I've got this flattened down. I'm not sure how well you can see it. The nice thing about using this type of pair of pliers is it's got all those ridges. That helps create little grooves in the mono that you can actually use to help secure your weed guard a little better. It prevents it from, or reduces the likelihood it's going to slip out. I always tie my weed guards in upside down, just much easier to control that way. So take the weed guard, you lay that flat piece right down, get your capture. I know what you're saying, it looks like it's just running right along. That's fine, we'll fix that in a minute. Wrap in all that flat, or as much of the flat as you want, and then do some wraps behind it. Now you can see it's sticking up perfectly, okay? You don't have to do a ton of wraps, just get it to whatever spot you like. Now once you got it there, you either finish your fly, do whatever else you need to do, but you've got that weed guard. And you can see it's starting to go back. So, you know, in this case, maybe just one or two more wraps. And there you go, that's perfect. So now we want to cut it down. I always like use them nice sharp edge. Again, minimize the chance that something's seen. You want to do it just a little bit longer than the hook point, give it that protection. And there you go. Now we've got first finished weed guard. So that's the easy, simple, right on the shank of the hook. Now the only negative to this is it builds up a lot more on this side. It doesn't really do anything here. So let's go to the other way. It's going to be the through the eye. So I'll take this off. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so now we're going to do the through the eye method. So you got to make all the same choices. I'm going to use this thicker thread again. Take my pliers, do the same thing. Make sure that curvature is correct. Clamp that down tight. Okay. Again, I'm not sure if you can see. There you go. Now, the difference here is we're going to put this through the eye before we turn it in. So again, you got to think, do you want to put it going away or towards? Towards is a little easier on this fly. It actually, or on this style, it can actually be a little tricky. So I'll show you the trickier way. Now I've got to use my left hand here because I need to be able to show you what's going on. Hold that in place. Do your capture wraps There you go. Okay, now you've got this coming through the eye. Okay, you're gonna fold that back over. You're gonna pull it tight. You can really only use this method with flies that have larger eyes or hooks that have larger eyes. But you see, you just start wrapping it down. Creates a nice clean wrap. You can go as far or as short as you need. And then you do the same thing. You do some wraps underneath, behind it, to get it to stand up how you want it to stand up. And there you go. So you finish off your fly from there, and same thing, you're gonna cut it down to, again, I like doing just, maybe, I don't know, 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch longer than the hook point. Nice clean cut, and you've got a weed guard. The nice thing about this part is it gives it the same bulk both above and beyond, or at least very similar bulk above and below. So if you're trying to make a really symmetrical head, this can be a little better. But it does add that bulk. So if you're trying to keep a really thin profile, you probably want to go with just the regular on the shank method. So let me know what you think, and good luck.